Hey everybody, welcome back. Now all the cake pools are now live, providing up to a whopping 170% APY at the moment for locking up your cake long enough. But the way these pools have been configured by the PancakeSwap team has completely transformed the incentive structures for staking cake in the first place. In short, if you lock up your cake for less than 3 months at the moment, your APY is barely higher than the cake emission rate. If you lock up for a full year, you get that fantastic 170% return, which is 3 times higher than the flexible pool just a few weeks ago. But there are certain risks locking away your token for so long related to opportunities for profit taking, which I want to talk about in this video. Alright, if you like my content, consider hitting the like button and dropping a comment. It's the only way the YouTube algorithm notices me. Without further ado, let's dive on in. Alright, now like many projects in DeFi, your APY is mainly funded through token inflation. Now Cake is what's known as a high emissions, high reward token. Every day, roughly 364,000 Cake tokens are added to the circulating supply, which is around 130 million tokens a year, which works out to be around 45% of the entire 290 million circulating supply. So in other words, the cake supply is being inflated by roughly 50% a year, and you'll want an APY at least that to compensate. So that makes the flexible pool, which is paying about 8% a year. You can stake and unstake whenever you want. The 1 week pool, 5 week pool, a 10 week pool, all of which have APYs under around 40%, a little bit problematic. Right now, bear in mind all these APYs will fluctuate over time depending on the burns, the DeFi volume, and the number of stakers at the time. Now, at the moment, the worthwhile pools are those longer than around 12 weeks or 3 months lockup. For example, if you look at the 25-week pool, that gives you roughly 85% APY, and a whole year gives you roughly 170% APY. Both of these pools, right, they offer compelling returns that's quite a bit higher than the cake emission rate. And just bear in mind, you can choose your own lockup period, basically any number of weeks under 52. Now here's the problem with all of this. It's a bit of a catch-22. If you have to lock up your investment for say half a year or longer to get say worthwhile returns in a space that moves very quickly, right, in terms of both trends and overall market sentiment, right? Who knows when the next huge rally is going to be? You're onboarding a set of risks you really need to think through. For example, you generally want your cryptocurrencies to be liquid and available to you when the bull market goes into full swing. Now, historically, if we look at Cake, it's been an oscillator about BNB, right? Sometimes BNB outperforms Cake, sometimes Cake outperforms BNB. What this means is that there are certain times that are great for taking profit on Cake. The way it works is during any major crypto rally, the layer 1s, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB chain, and so on tend to perform really well because in Web3, the real value lies in the underlying protocols, right? In contrast to Web2, where as an investor, you want to go for the application layer, right? The Facebooks, the Twitter, Google, and so on. For example, looking at the ratio of the altcoin space minus Ethereum compared to Ethereum, we note how ETH has outperformed the rest of the entire altcoin space for the past 3 years or so. In other words, if you just DCA'd into Ethereum, despite its huge market cap, you would have still outperformed the majority of investors spreading their cash among risky small caps. So during a major rally, BNB is going to ride the wave, especially because the BNB chain is one of the largest blockchains in the entire crypto space. They recently branded itself to carve out its own future away from Binance. At the same time, during these rallies, this is when Cake really might outperform BNB, given PancakeSwap's flagship DEX status, its small market cap, and abundance of DeFi opportunities on the platform. Not financial advice, but this is really the best time to take some profits on Cake. But you may not be able to if your cake's all locked up, you see. In a similar argument, if the flavor of the season pivots back to DeFi and investors begin rotating tons of capital back into all of the DeFi protocols that's been frankly getting hammered since May 2021, including PancakeSwap itself, then it might be a fantastic time to take some capital gains profit on Cake. Again, something you might not be able to do if your cake's all locked up. Okay, so what's the plan? Well, straight off the bat, in every situation, I just don't see the 1 to 10 week pools. So that includes the flexible pool offering 8% at the moment, all the way up to, I'd say, around 3 months as particularly compelling, right? The staking returns are just too low versus the emission rate. So it all comes down to whether it's worthwhile locking up your cake for the longer periods of time, right? Longer than 3 months. For instance, the 25-week pool giving you 85%, all the way up to maybe a full year, giving you up to around 170%. Now, for those who believe that we're in a bull market, right, heading towards that total 10 trillion total crypto market cap in late 2022, maybe early 2023, look, the 25-week pool might offer the best balance of risk to reward, right? You're going to be able to earn a 90% APY, sorry, 85% roughly, maybe even lower if you're watching this now, on your cake until then. And if all goes to plan, you might be able to take some terrific capital gains profit on those tokens near the peak. If you're feeling bearish about the BNB chain or PancakeSwap, perhaps you're worried about PancakeSwap's dwindling market share in the DEX space. By the way, this is CoinGecko's recent Q1 report. It's free. Then maybe cutting your losses and selling your cake might be a prudent thing to do. And finally, for those bullish about the future of the BNB chain and PancakeSwap and just want to grow their cake bag as best as they can in the coming years, look, the 52-week pool with its really high APY, 170%, which is 3 times the previous Flexi pool from MasterChef version 1, the old smart contract. Terrific returns, one can't complain. Not financial advice, of course, just running through some options in a hopefully rational way. All right, everyone, I hope you found this useful. If you did, please drop a like and let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'd love to hear from you. All right, for now, bye-bye now.